of what winter riding is all about, then southern Spain is the place for you to be. Dry roads, almost no traffic whatsoever, perfect training grounds. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Welcome to this week's episode of the Week in Tri, and the first bit of news for you that I've got for you here is that today is the final episode of the Week in Tri for this year, for 2015. Simply put, next week Friday is Christmas, and the Friday after that is New Year's. And over these 2 weekends, that's this coming weekend, the Christmas weekend and the New Year's weekend, there is absolutely nothing happening on the international triathlon front, so there won't be anything to report back to you on. But as far as coming up for the New Year's concerned, don't forget to stock up on your 12 grapes for when the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve. I'll post a link to what 12 grapes is all about down in the transcription of this video, down in the description block down below. And remember that I'll be back with the first episode of the Week in Triathlon for 2016 on Friday, the 8th of January. And speaking of 2016, let's not forget that 2016 could see the return to triathlon of that athlete that everybody loves to hate. That's right, Lance Armstrong's triathlon ban ends during the course of 2016. But before you scream out at me, lifetime ban, lifetime ban, lifetime ban at me, let me just unpack Lance's ban for you quickly. Lance was received a lifetime ban in the sport of triathlon, and he was banned under the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association's rules and regulations of 2009. And what the WADA rules state is that if an athlete receives a ban of longer than 4 years in one sporting discipline, after 4 years have elapsed, he may compete in a different sporting discipline to that he was banned under. So Lance was banned under cycling, so after 4 years he's eligible to race triathlon, he's eligible to race running races. However, there are a couple of limitations on those as well. Number one, the sporting codes that he will be eligible to race under, for instance, running and triathlon, he may not compete in a world championship, he may not compete in a national championship. He also may not compete in any event that qualifies you to be able to race in a national championship or world championship. So from that perspective, Ironman racing is going to be out of the window, simply because every single Ironman race around the planet qualifies you to be able to race Ironman World Championships or Ironman 70.3 World Championships. The other limitation as far as the lifting of his ban is concerned, he may not compete in anything that is classified as being an international event. So there things become a little bit murky. For instance, the Challenge Family triathlon events. Is the Challenge Family events, are they all classified as internationals? If so, Lance won't be able to race in those either. So you say, well, okay, so his triathlon ban's lifted, he can't race Ironman, he probably won't be able to be allowed to race Challenge. So what's left? Well, what about those key destination, standalone bucket list events that everybody loves to do? The ones that I'm talking about is, for example, in the USA, you've got the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon. It's a standalone event, no qualification for a world championship, not listed as an international, it's a local regional event. So Escape from Alcatraz could definitely be on the table. Another one that could be on the table down in Spain, you've got the super brutal Sierra Nevada Triathlon. The bike leg has got about 2,000 meters of elevation gain. It's a superb half iron distance event, brilliant. You do your the run segment of your race is up at the Sierra Nevada ski station, and the run takes you up to about just on 3,000 meters altitude and then back down again. So that's a destination bucket list event, regional, not qualifying for a world championship, so that could be in. Going into France, the Alpe d'Huez Triathlon, again, that's another standalone bucket list event. The Norseman, the Seltman, those are all bucket list standalone events. And if you're looking at general multisport, if you go into Sweden, you've got the swim run multisport event, the O, which is the island to island. Those are all events that he could possibly qualify for. And as we all know, he's already been taking part in trail running events, showing that he's got the fitness. And from that perspective as well, that's already creating a whole lot of consternation within social media. But let's see what happens on the triathlon front, should he make the choice to come back into triathlon. Then bearing in mind that Lance is, by the time the ban gets lifted, Lance will be 47. Is he going to go back into the pro ranks, or is he going to go into age group racing? If he goes into age group racing, that could mean a whole different ballgame altogether. We'll have to wait and see how all of this unfolds during the course of 2016. A final factor on the Lance front to be taken into account is, I remember a couple of years ago, Chris McCormack made a public statement during the course of an interview, is that he is so looking forward to being able to take Lance on man, head-to-head, in a triathlon, preferably over the iron distance type of triathlon. And when Lance's ban gets lifted, that may very well become a possibility. Maybe Chris and Lance will take on each other in the Alpe d'Huez or something like that. But I do remember that Chris McCormack is looking forward to racing Lance, and he even went on to say that even if the ban is in place, they can set up a triathlon where it's just the two of them that go out privately and go head to head. So Chris McCormack, calling you out, here's your opportunity to put your money where your mouth is and go head to head with Lance. So now that we've got all the consternations and controversies out of the way, let's look at the different modalities of triathlon in a little bit more detail as far as what the different news is concerned and what we've got as far as events are concerned. On the Ironman front, Ironman has a brand new Ironman event. It's a 70.3 for 2016. That's going to be taking place in Phuket, and that's on the 27th of November. Just happens to be a day after my birthday, so that sounds like an awesome place to be able to spend a birthday. So if there's somebody out there that has maybe got in mind to send Coach Edo out to Phuket to get stuck into the 70.3 over there, contributions welcome. No, jokes aside, the Phuket Ironman, beautiful destination. Just remember, high heat, high humidity, so keep that in mind. Then, also in 2016, Ironman is going to be experimenting with splitting the pro fields in a couple of the events, where one event will have men-only pros and another event will have women-only pros. The question is that this is being marketed as a way to give professional women a chance of competing in their own right without interference. But in all likelihood, it's just an opportunity to halve the prize fund at those certain destination events. The question remains is, if the pro field is halved, is Ironman going to be doubling the prize money in those events? We'll have to wait and see. Personally, I doubt we will be seeing it happening, but then again, we have been surprised pleasantly from time to time. Last week in Ironman, there were two events. First was Ironman Taupo in New Zealand. Meredith Kessler picked up the ladies' title there, and Braden Curry of New Zealand picked up the men's title. Then on Sunday the 13th, there was in Ballarat, Victoria, Australia, another 70.3, Annabelle Luxford of Australia picking up the ladies' title, and Matthew Pello also of Australia picking up the men's title. Luke McKenzie was the favourite for the Ballarat event, but he pulled the plug at the end of the bike leg. No real details about why he pulled the plug, but maybe he was carrying some fatigue from the previous week and superb performance in the Ironman Western Australia. Look ahead to next week on the Ironman front. There are 0 events left for the remainder of 2015. Ironman kicks off again middle of January 2016. Now on to Challenge Family news. Challenge Family have announced 2 brand new destination events for 2016. The first is Challenge Amazonia. In other words, it's in the rainforest, in the Amazon rainforest, and that's slated for the 20th of March. It will be a half distance challenge event, and the second one is Challenge Gran Canaria on the 17th of September 2016, and that's also going to be a half distance event. As far as report backs on events, there were no challenge events last weekend, and there are 0 challenge events for the remainder of the year. Challenge, as well as Ironman, kicks off with racing again during the course of January of 2016. As far as Xterra news is concerned, this isn't exactly Xterra, but sort of half and half. The ITU have listed Lake Krakenbach in Australia as the 2016 ITU Cross Triathlon World Championship venue. What's interesting to note is that's exactly the same venue that Xterra athletes Ben Allen and Jackie Slack have been using as their winter training camp. Could there be a connection between the two? I'm sure it's pure coincidence, but go figure. Ben and Jackie are training in Lake Krakenbach, and ITU Cross Triathlon Worlds is going to be taking place in Lake Krakenbach. Draw your own conclusions there, but we'll see how that event pans out in 2016. And as far as events are concerned, unlike Challenge and Ironman that have got no events up until middle January 2016, Xterra is in full sleep mode through until February of 2016. On to ITU news. ITU have published their full racing calendar for 2016, bearing in mind that it's an Olympic year, so the full calendars had to be built around the Olympic Games, because most of the Olympic distance road athletes will be gearing themselves towards the Olympic Games and trying to deliver their best performances there, so the entire calendar had to be spaced in such a way to accommodate the Olympics. Then ITU have also published their triathlon rules for 2016, and they come into effect in January. The ITU kicks off with their first race in the middle of January, and that middle of January race will be under the new ITU rules. And all athletes that are looking to race any ITU events for 2016, you'll be well advised to read the rules, because there are some rules that have changed that could result in you picking up penalties if you're racing according to how the rules are right now. First and foremost, the big changes that I saw when scanning through the 183 pages of the rules is, as far as non-drafting events, the legal draft distance has been changed from 10 meters to 12 meters for half distance and full distance events. So if you're following at a distance of 12 meters, you're going to be pulled for drafting and pick up a penalty. So remember, drafting distance has been increased from 10 meters to 12 meters. The other factor that's been changed is water safety related. Previously, swims used to be cancelled where the water temperature was 13 degrees. That's been reduced to 12 degrees. Report back on ITU events from last weekend. Saturday the 12th of December, there was a middle distance American Cup in Paracas, Peru. There were no female elite athletes at that event, only male elite athletes, and Salvador Ruiz Gonzalez of Peru picked up the men's title there. And looking ahead, there are 0 ITU events for the remainder of 2015. The ITU racing season kicks off in the middle of January. So ITU, Challenge and Ironman all kick off again middle of January 2016. Xterra kicks off during the course of February 2016, and hence we'll be back for our next episode of the Week in Tri only on the 8th of January 2016. So until we meet again in January for the next episode of the Week in Triathlon, please click the subscribe button down below, stay subscribed to my channel, and pick up the daily athlete questions that will be coming out to you. So there'll be a video posted every single day at 2 p.m. Spain time, 8 a.m. New York time, every day from now through until the 8th of January, when I'll be back for the next episode of the Week in Tri. So stay tuned to my channel for all of those happening. Post any comments, questions, criticisms you have in the comment section down below. Thumbs up if you like this type of content, and very importantly, share this out amongst all your triathlon friends, and as I mentioned, click that subscribe button. And until we meet again for the next episode of the Week in Triathlon on the 8th of January 2016, have a fabulous new year out there, stay carved up for the win, and I'll see you then.